All right, let's jump right in. Think about your daily drive. You're out there on the road and you're surrounded, right? There's a motorcycle that zips by, a massive semi-truck lumbering in the next lane, and probably an SUV right on your tail. Every single one of them has its own kind of hidden safety story. And today, we are going to unpack exactly what smart drivers know about all of them.
So, let me ask you this. How well do you really know the vehicles you're sharing the road with? I mean, really. It's a question that gets right to the core of what it means to be a safe, proactive driver. Because it's not just about avoiding traffic, you know? It's about understanding the unique physics and the specific risks that come with every single car, truck, and bike out there.
And that kind of leads us right into our first section here, the road's hidden dangers. The big idea is that being safe on the road, well, it isn't just about what you do. It's about being able to anticipate the limitations of everybody else.
And that right there is really the modern definition of defensive driving. It's not some passive thing. It's a skill. It's the art of seeing another vehicle and almost instantly getting a feel for its unique personality, how it stops, how it turns, and maybe most importantly, where its driver absolutely cannot see. It's all about turning simple observation into smart anticipation.
So how about we build that skill right now? In this next part, we're going to create a kind of mental guide to the other vehicles out there, zeroing in on those specific and often invisible dangers that each one brings to the table. First up, the giants of the road, large trucks. You know the ones, semis, big delivery trucks. When you see one of these beasts, you've just got to remember their incredible size and weight completely rewrite the rules of physics and safety on the highway.
And look, all these risks are connected. They need way more room to stop, which means you have to leave them more space. They have huge blind spots, what people call the no zone, and the rule is simple. If you can't see their mirrors, there's no way they can see you. And those wide, sweeping turns, they can easily swallow up a car that gets a little too close. It really all boils down to one thing. Just respect their space.
Okay, next up, motorcycles. Now these guys present a totally different kind of risk. If trucks are all about this overwhelming physical presence, motorcycles are about the exact opposite, a lack of presence. They can be incredibly hard to see, and by their very nature, they're just not as stable.
Their small profile means they can just poof, vanish into your car's blind spot in a heartbeat. And yeah, they can accelerate like a rocket, which is great for the rider, but it can really catch other drivers completely off guard. And this gets to the real heart of the matter. With basically zero protection around them, the consequences of any collision, even a tiny fender bender, are just so much more severe for the rider.
Now for what is easily one of the most common sights on the road today, SUVs and pickup trucks. I mean, they're everywhere, right? But their super popular design comes with a very specific risk factor that a lot of drivers don't really think about.
The big one here is their higher center of gravity. It just means they're more top-heavy than a regular sedan. So if you have to make a sharp turn or a sudden swerve, they are fundamentally more likely to roll over. And sure, modern technology like stability control helps a lot, but it can't just delete the laws of physics. That potential for a rollover is always there, baked right into the design.
All right, so this all leads to the big question, doesn't it? We've seen how different vehicles have their own unique dangers. But can we actually point to one and say, that's the most dangerous? And on the flip side, what's the safest? Well, the answers here might not be what you expect.
So let's just go for it. What is the most dangerous vehicle on the road? Well, as you probably figured out, it's a little complicated because danger can mean a couple of different things. But if you crunch the numbers, one category pops up again and again for a very specific reason. And this quote, this says it all. The danger of a motorcycle isn't just about the person riding it. It's about how their total vulnerability changes the game for every other driver nearby. A tiny mistake on our part, something that would be a minor scrape for us, can have huge life-altering consequences for them. That's why they have a much, much higher fatality rate per mile traveled. So maybe the best way to think about it is that there are two kinds of danger out there. On one hand, you've got the danger from vulnerability and invisibility. That's motorcycles and small cars. Their risk comes from not being seen and having no protection. On the other hand, you've got danger from pure mass and physics. That's your large trucks and SUVs. Their risk comes from sheer force. Both are dangerous, just for totally different reasons.
Okay, so let's flip the script. What actually makes a vehicle safe? It's not as simple as just being big and heavy anymore. Today, real safety is this amazing combination of two different but equally crucial ideas.
And you gotta understand this distinction. First, there's passive safety. That's the old school stuff we know. A strong steel frame, a bunch of airbags, great crash test scores, all the things designed to protect you if a crash happens. But active safety, now that's the game changer. That's all the smart tech like automatic emergency braking and lane keeping assist that is constantly working to stop the crash from ever happening at all.
And the safest vehicles out there today, they're the ones that are amazing at both. You see models like the Volvo XC90 or the Subaru Ascent, which are legendary for their safety systems. You've got the Toyota Highlander and Honda CR-V, combining top-notch crash protection with really advanced driver assist tech. And then you even have innovators like the Tesla Model 3, which uses its heavy battery pack to create a super low center of gravity, adding this whole other layer of stability and safety.
All right, time to get practical. Knowing about other cars is critical, but what about your own ride? One of the most important skills for getting through tight spots and just staying safe in general is having a real, intuitive sense of your own car's dimensions while you're moving.
And listen, this is a skill you can totally master. It starts with your mirrors. Seriously. Adjust them so you can see just a tiny sliver of your own car. That becomes your reference point for where your edges are. Then, you start training your brain to build a mental map of your car's footprint on the road. You're not just driving anymore. You're consciously placing that shape right between the lines. And finally, use the tech. Those beeps and camera lines, they're not just for the parking lot. They are amazing tools that turn pure guesswork into real precision.
So let's wrap this all up. Everything we've talked about, from a truck's blind spot to an SUV's center of gravity to active safety systems, it's all designed to do one thing: to cause a fundamental shift in how you see the road. It's about graduating from just seeing other cars to truly understanding them.
And that, right there, is the big takeaway. The next time you get behind the wheel, you won't just see a motorcycle or a truck. You'll understand its weaknesses, its stopping power, its blind spots. It's a whole new level of awareness, a complete recalibration of how you drive, and it's what makes the roads safer for every single one of us.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.